Hey, what's up my brothers? This is Enemy Stan User here, and this week we got another amazing chapter of JJK diving out of Megumi and Yuji's part and entering Yuta Okoto's POV. Let's go. Right now it is truly Yuta's time to shine, and the way things are shaping up, Yuta could really carry this arc and prove himself to be, in a sense, a pillar himself on humanity's side. And I feel the more we see Yuta's perspective, we kind of will verify just how strong he is. And I sometimes do see online some cap, or rather some doubt, about how Yuta is and where he lines up in terms of power. Even after or in JJK 0, Yuta has defeated the former Ghetto outright and really earned his special grade rank with all of his crazy cursed energy. Yuta is not just any special grade, he is the special grade, one of the 4 sorcerers recognized by the JJK higher ups. So he's got a little bit of backbone behind him. But I also see a bunch of hype in this chapter as well, and we get a little bit of a peek seeing how good Yuta is and how the other players in this colony view him in the Sendai Miyagi colony. He may even be able to conquer it alone. But let's get into this amazing chapter of JJK 174, Sendai Colony Part 1. To start off, let me say, if the culling games was actually like or mirrors an actual battle royale game, figuratively you could say Tokyo was like a mid-level casual sort of server with beginner hunters, Haguruma, Reggie and them, some light. But the Sendai Miyagi colony is a straight up hardcore ranked server. We have players high in the leaderboards, like a super high level on their own kill streaks, going crazy in this war zone. Our boy Yuta has just put himself right in the middle of this mix. In the beginning of this chapter, Yuta killed Lakadawala the Ruve, and some of the other players took notice of this and noticed this new player and his points starting to rise up. So they are very cautious, both Uro and Ryu. We even get to see their inner thought bubbles as they took notice to the Ruve being out of the game, but now they have to worry about Yuta gunning for them. And now that this power struggle is down, for one side, there are more players who will make a move, Kurorushi being one of them. We then cut to another panel with Yuta, and he has a small group of regular people with him, which surprised me because I was under the impression that non-sorcerers were given a choice to leave or stay due to Kenjaku's barrier conditions, like we saw in chapter 160, with people like Sasaki who walked out of the barrier. So these people either missed their chance or Kenjaku did not get to everyone. Either way though, this is an extremely bad situation for them, as there are even women and children in this group. So Yuta, being a very good person as he is, chooses to take on this burden and lead these people to safety, which was very incredibly wholesome to see just how good Yuta is. But this moment of peace is cut short as another survivor is running from a swarm of cockroaches. Yuta tries to take action and save this guy since it's only him alone, but even Yuta cannot get to him in time as the swarm devours the person in a violent reaction, eating him to the bone in mere seconds, right in Yuta's hands, forcing Yuta to step back as the swarm goes for the rest of the group. Yuta sees this and takes action, using Rika to block the roach's path and to stop the swarm. The roaches then rush at Yuta as he imbues his sword with cursed energy, unleashing it in a wide attack, decimating the entire swarm in one attack. This event definitely turned a couple heads as Uro and Ryu see how strong Yuta is, and they kind of size up his potential as fellow sorcerers, Ryu complimenting his cursed energy output and the amount of cursed energy that he has, and Uro is just shocked at his reserves as well, and she stated, "You can't see the end of it," and saw how powerful Rika is, calling it a Shikigami with a question mark. So they probably don't know that Rika is a vengeful curse, but now I'm wondering just what this new Rika is, because it kind of looks different in the fact that it seems more like a projection or like a Shikigami or maybe like a master servant curse. But we know that Yuta kept the ring and Yuka was technically exercised, or the curse was undone, but we don't know all the facts in that. But I was wondering if the ring had a bit to do with it, but he's not. I don't think he's wearing it though. He could still have it on him. But whatever the case is, Rika is still a factor for Yuta and is still a very, very powerful tool and a very powerful curse on Yuta's side. Moving on though, Kurorushi shows up in a very menacing manner, and the chapter stated when he was at a disadvantage with Daruv, Kurorushi went into sleep mode, or like a state of hibernation, and only went into this sleep mode to preserve its own life in Daruv's colony. So it seems like Kurorushi has a pretty bad matchup with kind of Daruv's power, or based on his actions that he took. But now that he's dealt with, it doesn't look like Kuro is very smart, as Yuta is the one who dealt with Daruv, and now Kurorushi is pressing Yuta. Anyway, Kurorushi is explained to have an infinite appetite, and the more he eats, the more roaches he can swarm and produce. And Kurorushi is now waking up in this state of starvation, and Yuta just interrupted his meal, so he instinctively decided to devour Yuta and set his sights on him. So now we got our first fight with Yuta versus Kurorushi. Yuta takes this moment to think and realizes that because of the limited resources in the colonies, someone will eventually make a rule that allows players to enter and exit colonies. However, Yuta knows just how dangerous these players are, and if people like Kuro and Daruv get outside the barriers, then nothing but chaos would ensue, as they have wide, deadly, indiscriminate attacks that humans could get killed in. So first, Yuta has to eliminate these players and get them out of the way, so that he can add his own rules on his terms. Then, he has a very interesting moment thinking back when Megumi proposed 2 rules, and now he has to get colony linkage rule as well as colony entry and exit rules. So Yuta proposed the sorcerers need at least 4 rules to handle the games, and right now he knows everyone is exhausted after the Shibuya incident. They're all tired, neither their mind or their body can take all this stress anymore. And it is here that Yuta steals his resolve, saying he does not want Gojo to kill his best friend again. He will kill Kenjaku, and he alone will get those 400 points himself. And the chapter ends and concludes with Kurorushi pulling out a cursed blade called the Fester Life Blade. And it is a cursed sword where life and death cross paths, and the chapter ends with a break next week. Before going too heavy into my thoughts on the chapter, I wanted to look at Kurorushi for a moment and my theory on him for what was stated at the end of the chapter. And we know cockroaches are things associated with like disgust and decay. They are literally like bottom feeders that eat anything, and I imagine a lot of people fear them to a degree, and curses are born from humans' fear and hatred. And I myself do not mess with the cockroaches that fly, but Kuro here, he seems to be very powerful and could reflect the versatility and the resilience of a real life cockroach. We have seen curses that actually have the same powers as real life insects. But what it stated at the end really got my attention, because the translation read where life and death cross paths. And that makes me think about the 6 paths in Buddhism, or like in Naruto, because that concept presides over life and death. And I only say that because, as you see, the blade Kuro has does indeed have 6 eyes. Now, I'm not saying that this could really mean anything to it, and it could just be that he's an insect, he has 6 eyes, but I just can't ignore the similarity and the references to Buddhism that Gigi does put in the manga, but that's just a thought that I have. This chapter though was really amazing, just seeing Yuta and his resolve to fix the situation Kenjaku put everyone in, and how Yuta is doing his best to care for the needs of the people. And that was very wholesome and awesome to see. And this is actually Yuta's hometown here in Sendai, and you could tell Yuta is really throwing his weight around as a sorcerer, and if anyone's got a problem, Yuta will put his hands up and catch a body or 2 if he needs to. He understands the game requires strong, fierce competitors and has no problem killing guys if they gotta be killed, even outright stating that he would be the one to kill Kenjaku. So I do just a little bit doubt that things would go so smoothly or so easy just to kill the fake ghetto or the Kenjaku. And given Kenjaku's plans, I don't think it would go like it did last time in JJK 0, but who really knows? I was just talking about doubting Yuta, and here I am doubting him a little bit, but in his resolution to kill Kenjaku, and Kenjaku has backup plans to cover his backup plans. So he's looking like Aizen right now. But Yuta is looking like top dog in this colony, and I like that we get to see Uro and Ryu share a response to Yuta's power and react to his presence in the game. I really cannot wait to see Yuta land something crazy like a Black Flash or use his copy curse technique ability and everyone's just like, whoa, what is that? But Yuta deserves all the praise he's getting right now, because I would say he is the most gifted in terms of the new generation of sorcerers, and seeing his perspective right now is really gonna hit different, especially fighting all these new sorcerers with these crazy abilities in the colony. It's just gonna be full of amazing fights, and Yuta we could potentially see him get pushed to his limits, which would be a little crazy. But these sorcerers, although they were cautious, they still were sizing Yuta up, and like he might hang with us, and seeing Daru how he was taken out, but they seem pretty high on their own power based on their points, and I really love to see this sort of sorcerer rivalry unfold. This colony seems like a really high level area, and everyone weak was likely bodied left and right, and now Yuta is using his power to protect others, to take out players, and to face powerful threats. So Yuta is for real the prodigy child, and he has got his hands full already. And I like that Yuta considered Kenjaku Gojo's friend still, and did not want to rely really did not want to rely on Gojo to kill his best friend again. And that's pretty messed up, having to do that twice, but we know that Gojo is sealed. But I don't know if you noticed, but Geto is probably Gojo's one and only crack in his defense, mentally speaking, and everything involving Geto really impacted Gojo. Even Gojo's consideration for Geto's dead body had a hand in all of this, as Kenjaku only got Geto's body because it was not destroyed, and now here we are. But everything in this chapter was hype, and the more Yuta we get to see, the more I just love Jujutsu Kaisen. Anyways guys, thank you guys for watching this video. That's it for this review for this chapter of JJK. Gege is really on a roll right now, but next week is on break, so hopefully I can wrap up some video projects that I'm working on and post them when they are ready. But thank y'all again, my besto friendzo. We just hit 200 plus subs now, so you guys are really amazing, and I love reading your comments and your input. Y'all be well and safe. This has been Enemy Stand User, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.